The first thing is graphing integers. Name the coordinate. You only have to name the number that the point is on. Bailey, what point is A on? -1, right. Bivens, what point is B on? Yeah, B as in boy. 2. And Boggs, what point is C on? 3, that's right. And Collins, what point is D on? -4, that's right. In this instance, you have to graph each one. So you have to look at the number and put it on the number line. So in this case, you will have to go to the screen and point to it. If you're not tall enough to reach the screen, there's a ruler up there, and you can put it on the screen and leave it there until I tell you if you have it right or wrong. And that'll go for any one that we have to go to the screen for. So Cornwell, can you go up there and point to where -2 is at? And we'll see if she gets it right. Yes, that is it right there. That is -2. Hale, can you show me where 1 is at on the number line? Yes, right there. And Hanshaw, can you show me where 4 is at? Yes, that is right. In each case, you have to insert an inequality sign, either less than or greater than. Whatever is less has the inequality sign pointing at that. Which number is the lowest one in the first problem, Holston? -3 is the lower number, so which sign would you put in there? Less than or greater than? Less than is right, and it goes like this. It's pointing to the lower number. In number 2, Howard, which sign would I put in there? Less than or greater than? Greater than, that is right. And if you look at a number line, we can explain why. Here's the number line, here's 0. If you go back to here, you have a -4. And then the next one beyond that is -5. Whichever number is furthest to the right, that is the one that is the greatest. -4 is furthest to the right. So the mouth would open to the -4 because it is the greatest one. Number 3, Hughes. Which sign would go in there? It would be pointing towards the 2. Is that greater than or less than? If I put a greater than sign in here, that would mean that this -7 here would be greater than this -2 there. So it would be less than. Right. All right. King, what sign should go in number 1? Less than or greater than? It is less than. That is right. Kinsler, in number 2, what sign do we use? Here's the number line, and we have a 0. This is -3, and this is +4. Which one is furthest to the right? 4 is furthest to the right. So the mouth should open to the 4. So what inequality sign is that? If it opens to the 4 like this, is that greater than or less than? That's less than. Yes. Number 3, 2 and -1. What sign should go in there? Lewis. Here is 2 and here is -1. Which one is furthest to the right? It would be greater than, right. Greater than. Tebow, 4 and negative 5. What inequality sign goes in there?
Greater.
Greater than is right. Thompson, 7 and 8. Which sign goes in?
Less than.
Less than, yes. Timberlake, negative 7, negative 2. Less than is right. In this case, you have to use absolute value symbols. This is not a 1. This problem is not 1 minus 21. Notice that these brackets are higher than what the numbers are. That's the absolute value symbol. And whatever comes out of the absolute value brackets will always be positive. If I have the absolute value of negative 2, then I have 2 for an answer. If I have the absolute value of positive 8, the answer is positive 8. Whatever comes out is positive. Down here at the bottom, you have an expression that you can simplify first and then evaluate. The absolute value of negative 3 is 3. I keep my minus sign, and the absolute value of negative 2 is positive 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. Timberman, what is the answer to the first one? Positive 7 is right. Williams, what is the answer to the next one? 5 is right. Bailey, what's the answer to the third one? 10 is right. Bivens, what's the answer to the fourth one? Positive 8. I'll end up with the absolute value of 7 minus the absolute value of negative 1. So what's the answer? Positive 6 is the answer. And what's the answer for the last one, Boggs?
Positive 4.
Positive 4 is right. That's the same thing as 6 minus 4, or not minus 4, but minus 2, which is 4. This is the coordinate plane. All you need to do is look at a graph and figure out what the coordinates are, and then go in reverse. Given the coordinates, put it on the graph, and that's what we will do next. So write the ordered pair for each point, and I'll start with an example that's right here with the black dot. This is where I have put it. Anytime you want to find the coordinates of a point, you start at the origin. Here, 0, 0. In order to get lined up with that point, do I have to go left or right from the origin? I have to go left how many? 2. So I would write negative 2. Because that's my first movement. Starting here, I have to go back 2 to get lined up with that. And then after that, how far do I have to go up? I have to go 5. So that point is back 2 and then up 5. In your coordinate plane, your points in the first section here are going to be positive, positive. In the second section there to the left, they're going to be negative, positive. And the one below that is negative, negative. And the one to the right is positive, negative. If you remember that, then these become much easier to figure out. You do not run the risk of putting them in the wrong quadrant. Collins, point A. What's the coordinates for point A? Here's point A right here. How far do I have to go over? Negative 5. How far do I go up? So the coordinates should be negative 5 and then 3. Cornwell, what about point B? What's the coordinates of those?
Negative 1, negative 5.
That's right. Negative 1, negative 5. Hale, what's the coordinates of point C? 4, negative 3 is right. Hanshaw, what's the coordinates of point D? That's right, 2, 3. Holston, what's the coordinates of point E? 6, 5 is right. Howard, what's the coordinates of point F?
Negative 3, positive
We went back 3 and up positive 1. That is right. And Hughes, what's the coordinates of point G?
-3, or -6, -3.
-6, -3 is right. King, what's the coordinates of H?
1, -3.
How far down am I going?
Oh, 2, sorry.
Yeah, 1, -2. Here you're given the coordinates and then you have to go plot the point. So for example, if I have something like -6, -5, I would start here and I would have to go back 6. And then it's -5, so I have to go down 5. And that would give me the point here. -6, -5. Alright, so Kinsler, I need you to plot point A, -2, 4. He's injured, so we'll go to Lewis. We'll go to Lewis. Plot -2, 4. Tebow for 5, -2. Alright, let's see if he has it. Remember, you have to leave your finger there. That's where he had it. Alright. And it goes to Thompson for point C. Point C should be 0, -3. Is that where he's at? Remember, you have to leave your finger there until we're already finished. Yes, he has that. Timberlake, point D. Six, 4. And make sure you leave it there. So is this 6, 4? Yes, he has it right. And Timberman, point E. -5, -4. Let's see if he has it right. -5, -4, and that is right. These are the quadrants of a coordinate plane. The first one is in the upper right. The second one is to the left of that. The third one is below the second one, and the fourth one is in the bottom right. You have to use Roman numerals. Okay, so if I have the point -2, 3, then what quadrant would that be in? 1, 2, 3, or 4? And you would have to look at your thing here, and this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we'll give that first one to Williams. Which quadrant would -2, 3 be in? It would be in the second one, that's right. And the next one goes to Bailey. What quadrant would 4, -6 be in? 4, -6 would be in the fourth quadrant, that's right. And the next one goes to Bivens, -1, 2. Alright, yeah, that's right. It would be 3. And Boggs, the fourth one, 8, 11.
The first one.
The first one, right. Collins, the fifth one, -5, -6. If I go back, which is to the left, I'll go back 5 and then down 6. Where am I at? The third one, right. And then the last one, -2, 0, is going to go to Cornwell.
It doesn't have a quadrant.
That's right, it doesn't have one, or it's just none. Is adding integers. You just have to add two numbers together. They could be positive, negative, or you could have two positives, two negatives. You cannot use a calculator on this in class. So if you have a calculator, whether it's mine or yours, put it face down. If it's yours, put it away. If it's mine, just put it face down. So -3, 6, when you're adding positive and negative numbers, we're going to use green and red. Here's green, and there's red. -3 plus 6. I have three negatives. and then I have 6 positives. If you're adding positive and negative numbers, you can cancel them out one at a time. For each negative, cancel out a positive. And then keep canceling until you cannot cancel anymore. What is left? 3 positives, so the answer is positive 3. And then just below that, I have 9 positives and then 4 negatives. So if I cancel out these 4 negatives with these 4 positives, how many are left over? 5 what?
5 positives.
5 positives, so the answer is positive 5. And then for the next one down below that, I have 2 negatives and then 5 negatives. Is there anything to cancel out? So I just add all of my negatives together. How many negatives do I have?
7.
So the answer is a negative 7. Don't make the mistake of putting the answer as being 7. Whenever you have to read an answer out loud and it's supposed to be negative 7, if you say 7, it's wrong. It has to be negative 7. Alright, so then in the next one you have 3 negatives and then you have 9 positives. We will go through and cancel out those 3 negatives with 3 positives. How many are left?
6 positives.
Positive 6. Alright, this one will go to Hale. Hale, what about the first one? What's the answer? Negative 6 is right. Hanshaw, what's the answer to the second one?
6.
6, that's right. Holston, what's the answer to the third one?
2.
Answer is positive 2, right. And Howard, what's the answer to the fourth one? Answer is 2, yes.